A pleasure to meet y'all at last, and welcome back to Aftersought. And now, if you ever wanted to go full auto, give yourself the good old P90 sort of appearance, then well, the rival Morpheus, also known as Project Charger, would be the one to choose. After all, its P90 looks is one thing, but of course, its power, given to that of its pretty decent capacity with more than 10 HIR rounds or high impact rounds, and its motorized action. Yeah, so maybe someday we could probably take ourselves a good look at how the Rivals lineup is going to go down with the usage of motorized action blasters, firing HIR rounds at certain FPS ranges. After all, even when this is open, it could still power on. The only real way to shut off the motor, so that way you can use the trigger hand freely, would be to open up the jam door. Yeah, a classic example of how the motor can shut down automatically when something is opened or closed. But of course, aside from every one of those basic functions that the Morpheus itself has, I tell you, this is a pretty decent blaster to bring out into the field. It has one tactical rail on the top, fitting, as you probably could put a reticle on top or something else entirely, and its jam door is, quite honestly, somewhat basic at this point, but it's also a pretty good one, because not every Rival's jam door seems to be wide enough for you to be able to put your finger in, but as you can see, it's no problem at all. So this is probably one of the best examples of that by far. But let's put in another thing to the tradition: the invisible attest. And unlike the others, I'm pretty much just going to go full magazine here. Alright, now that it's full, let's unleash some SMG fury. Kinda did a number on my shoulder there, but it's something I'm gonna have to get used to. In conclusion, the Morpheus is a pretty decent addition to it, being that it's also one of the most recent Rivals blasters to be introduced to the Nerf lineup of toy blasters. And not to mention, it's yet another example of the basic red and blue teams out there, although it's currently in blue. I'm not so sure why Hasbro decided to pretty much discontinue the usage of having both red and blue implemented into all their Rivals blasters, with the exception of the Edge series and the Phantom Corps series, as well as the Camo series, which does apply to many other lineups, but as for the Rivals lineup, the Camo series and the Edge series and the Phantom Corps series, they're really not as big as the original red and blue team sort of series in and of themselves. But I will say, regardless of some of these minor flaws that pretty much come into play, the Morpheus is a pretty good addition to any collector out there, being that it's, well, somewhat fairly priced. I mean, who would pay $35 for this? I don't know many people who would, but that's exactly how much I had to pay up just for this. Wow. I guess that's one flaw that kind of seals the nail in the coffin in general, but other than all that, I really do feel like that this could be a really good addition to anyone out there who's looking forward to having motorized blasters, or, of course, if you're just a hardcore collector of Nerf like myself. Well, anyways, that's pretty much it there that I have to talk about this, and I'll certainly be back with some more later on. But if you want to see more, go down to my channel. Make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, follow me on social media, and stay on the Hollywood side.